Joining us tonight with more on the crisis at the border and the response from Washington is Sevilla Korn, GOP political strategist and former White House deputy assistant to President Trump. Jenny, great to see you again. All right, let's get right to it. I know want to get your thoughts on this latest move by the Supreme Court. What does it suggest about the Biden administration's handling of the situation at the border?
Right. Well, good evening, Tracy. And Americans should be outraged, whether they're Republican or Democrats, at what is happening at the border. It is such a crisis, humanitarian crisis, a national security crisis, and even the Supreme Court sees that we need measures to keep our country safe. But unfortunately, President Biden doesn't see this. Or if he does, he is literally doing nothing about it. He has had 700 days to do something about it, and they are still working, as we heard Chuck Schumer say, on a plan. Well, where is that plan? Because it's been 700 days, and you've got Border Patrol agents at that border pleading with the president to please help them do their jobs. Some of the numbers are just outrageous. 2 years ago, before President Biden took office, 450,000 migrants came across that border. Today, this year, over 2.5 million migrants have come through. And it's just not all people who are seeking asylum. In those numbers, there are over 100 people who are on the terror watch list. So there's a lot happening at the border, and the president is just absent.
And it seems the Biden administration is pinning the blame on the GOP for this crisis. What do you think about all that?
Well, that's a ridiculous notion because there have been two Democrat presidents, both Obama and Biden, who have had a veto-proof Senate, Congress, and the White House, and they didn't do anything in their first 2 years. I worked for President Bush when we tried to get '06 and '07 legislation through. Unfortunately, didn't get through. And I was also there during the Trump administration when we offered DACA for 1.8 million migrants for a secure border. I don't understand why the Democrats are pushing against, or it's not just Democrats, it's President Biden, who are pushing against a secure border. There are Democrats like Henry Cuellar, who's a congressman in Texas. There are Democrat mayors in Texas who are saying, please, Mr. President, we need to secure our border. Please give us the resources to do it. And you know what's really amazing is that the president has the tools at his disposal to fix this problem. And he refuses to do that. And he also refuses to go down to the border to see with his own eyes what's happening. If there is a natural disaster, a president goes down and visits it. This is a man-made disaster, and the man is President Biden who made this. It can be fixed. So I implore the president to please go down to the border, to please use the tools at his disposal and work with Republicans to actually do something to fix this crisis.
And Jenny, I know you say that the Biden administration is using Title 42 as a diversion, a sort of political wedge that Americans are catching on to. Talk to me more about that. And is the White House turning a blind eye, you mentioned it, to the crisis at the border? And why is that?
Right. So I wrote in my op-ed that you can find on Twitter at Jenny S. Korn about this division. It's a political wedge. I heard yesterday somebody on CNN saying that the Republicans want this as a political wedge. That's ridiculous. The Republicans are the ones putting forward the plans that will fix this. In fact, just 2 years ago, President Trump put policies in place like Remain in Mexico policy, having a physical barrier, having the agreements with other countries, asylum agreements, so that those people who want to come over, who have true asylum requests, can stay in their country of origin as we're processing them. It's impossible for our border agents to be able to process as many people as are happening. So there's only one party right now and one president that is allowing this to happen, and that's President Biden. I heard Karine Jean-Pierre say Republicans need to come to the table. Republicans, as you heard from the clips that you just played, are ready to come to the table and fix this crisis. They did it 2 years ago. They'll do it again.
All right, and we're going to leave it right there. Jenny, thank you so much, as always, for your insights. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great evening.